So UFC 321 is taking place this weekend, and the main event is a heavyweight title fight between Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall. Now, when I look at this main event, and I'm thinking, this is the fucking main event that we wanted. There were definitely no other fights at heavyweight that we wanted. There was definitely nothing that was hyped up for years that we are not getting. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane is peak MMA. Ciryl Gane coming off of a robbery against Alexander Volkov, and Tom Aspinall, we know what Tom Aspinall is about to do to Ciryl Gane. And if he doesn't, it's the greatest upset of all time. But it got me thinking to myself, where does Tom Aspinall rank among the heavyweight GOATs? And, who are the heavyweight GOATs? So that's what we're going to be talking about today in this video. Tony Has Died, will be giving you the top 10 greatest heavyweights in UFC history. If you like the video, like, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let's get straight into this, all right? Starting with number 10 on my list, I got Andrei Arlovski. Andrei Arlovski, look, when we come to who's number 10 on this list, some people might have Brock Lesnar. Some people might include some people might have like a Nogueira. Some people might put like a Ciryl Gane in their top 10. I got Andrei Arlovski simply because of how long he had fought for and how many good wins he've accumulated. All right. He has been fighting since 1999. He is a UFC champion. He beat people like Tim Sylvia. He beat people like Paul Bonatello. He beat Ben Rothwell, Roy Nelson. He has a win over Fabricio Werdum. He has a win over Devin Cole. He got a win over fucking Brendan Schaub. He's got a win over Antonio Silva. So he has just been around the UFC for a long time. And he beat people like Frank Mir too. So the sheer amount of fights that this guy's had, over 40 fights in the UFC, 23 of them being wins, 18 of them being losses. A couple of them are split decisions. I think you got to put Andrei Arlovski at number 10. I can understand why you might not even have him on the list, but I think just the sheer amount of volume that he's put out, he has a lot of KOs as well. I'm pretty sure he has how many? It's like 15 KOs, something like that. But yeah, he's been around the UFC so long, he definitely should have hung it up a lot. Like the fact that he only retired, like he's still fighting in bare knuckle and dirty boxing and shit. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Just give up, bro. And honestly, that just shows how shitty this division is. Like, let's keep it a stack. The fact that you arguably beat Waldo Cortez Acosta, who is now ranked number 7, is insane. But having over 60 fights, I feel like it warrants you to be number 10 on this list. So Andrei Arlovski, and he floated inside the rankings for that entire time period as well. And so, yeah, I got to have Andrei Arlovski at number 10 on the list. At number 9 on the list, please don't click off the video, I got Derrick Lewis. And I know what you're thinking, bro. What the fuck? Why is Derrick Lewis on this list? Dude, Derrick Lewis has an elite resume. Derrick Lewis has one of the most underrated resumes of all time. Prime Derrick Lewis was like the Grim Reaper of the UFC, bro. And let's just take a look at who he beat. He knocked out Alexander Volkov. And I know he got his ass kicked the whole fight. And he beat Francis Ngannou, unanimous decision. I know that was like a non-fight, but he still beat him. He beat Curtis Blades. I'm pretty sure he beat him twice. He beat Taliesin Teixeira, who's probably going to go on to be a decent heavyweight. He beat Mauricio Rodrigo de Lima. He beat Iria Latafi. He beat fucking Martian Tybor. He's a great fighter. Beat Roy Nelson. He has beaten a lot of great fighters. Like the Ngannou win and the Volkov win and the Blades win. Those are really, really good wins to have. He's 20-10 in the UFC. So he has a positive UFC record. But the main reason I got to put Derrick Lewis here is his knockout record. Like when we watch the UFC, we are watching for the fucking finish. We are watching to see this guy knock someone the fuck out. And he has beaten elite competition like Ngannou. I know it was like a fucking weird fight. He's beat Volkov, who's gone on to do great things. Blades is a good fighter. And the amount of knockouts this guy has. 10 knockouts in the first round. He has 24 knockouts. Out of his fucking 29 wins, 24 of them are knockouts. Is that not like something to be impressed about? I know this is a hot take to have him above someone like fucking even Cyril Gane who beat him. But I just think that he's beaten more elite fighters than the other people that I didn't include on this list. So, and he's been around, look, this is how terrible heavyweight is. Let's keep it 100. The fact that Derrick Lewis is even in the top 10 GOAT conversation at heavyweight. I think that needs to talk about how terrible this division is. And it really sucks because people talk about the UFC heavyweight champion like he's the baddest person on the planet. And a lot of the times that's correct because the top of heavyweight are these super athletic people. But like, you look at who is still ranked. Derrick Lewis has been ranked for 10 years. He is not a super technical guy, and he's beaten elite competition. And so, yeah, I got Derrick Lewis at number 9. I don't think, I guess it's a hot take to have him on the list at all, but I don't think it's that hot of a take, you know. At number 8 on this list, I got Fabricio Werdum. He's got a UFC record of 12-6, an MMA record of 24-9. He did a lot of his work at Pride and Strikeforce, but he was mostly in the UFC. Okay, I got to put Fabricio Werdum on this list for his wins over Cain Velasquez, Nogueira, Travis Brown, Mark Hunt. He, at one point in the UFC, he went on a 6 fight win streak, which is really good for heavyweight. Lost to Stipe Miocic. That's who Stipe took the title off of. Lost to Alistair Overeem. Honestly, I could have put Alistair Overeem on this list instead of Arlovski. I don't know. I'm not re-recording this shit. Maybe if you want to put Alistair Overeem on here, go ahead. You can put him too. But lost to Overeem. Lost to Marcin Tybura. He beat Marcin Tybura. Lost to Volkov. But look, he was a champion at one point in his prime. He was a super, super deadly heavyweight. I think Fabricio Werdum deserves to be mentioned just because of what he did. You know, this guy fucking beat Fedor. I didn't even mention that. He armbarred Fedor. And this wasn't just like a, it's Fedor. Whatever. He literally armbarred Fedor. Okay? But his rivalry with JDS is pretty good. He lost to Arlovski. He also lost to Fedor. But, we'll just keep it like that, all right? I think Fabricio Werdum definitely needs to be mentioned on this list, all right? At number 7 on the list, I got Junior Dos Santos. UFC record, 15-8. He is, he's got an MMA record of 21-10. I think Fabricio, what the fuck am I talking about? I think JDS definitely deserves this fucking spot on the list. His fall off, man, I don't even want to talk about his fall off, bro. It's one of the worst, like, when we talk about, like, the worst fall offs of all time, after he got slept by Francis, he got knocked out by Blades, then he got knocked out by Rosenstrike, then he got knocked out by Gane, and then he got cut. It was a pretty bad fucking run to go on. But there was at one point in JDS's career, there was one point in his career where he was 15-1. When he beat Frank Mir, when he beat Cain Velasquez the first time, he was 13-1. Yeah, his fall off was very bad. But when he was in his prime, he had a crazy win streak. And, wins like Cain Velasquez are elite. Win over Frank Mir, that's pretty good. Win over Mark Hunt. This dude beat Stipe, who is very high on this list. Beat Derrick Lewis, beat Tuivasa. JDS is definitely one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Won't hear anything else, all right? At number 6 on the list, I got Cain Velasquez. When we put Cain Velasquez, like, this guy, he has a lot less, he knew when to hang it up. Let's just say that. When the end of his career ensued, he did not stick around and get knocked out 20 times in a row like a lot of the other people on this list. This guy, he beat Ben Rothwell, he beat Nogueira, he beat Brock Lesnar for the title. And that was a super impressive win because it was Brock Lesnar who was juiced to the fucking gills. He didn't give a fuck. You see Mark Hunt crying. I'm not going to go on Mark Hunt. That was really fucked up what the UFC did to Mark Hunt. But what I'm trying to say here is beating Brock Lesnar, beating Bigfoot Silva, beating JDS twice. I think that definitely deserves to get you on this list. Super elite wins, didn't stay like a lot of these people's like resumes and legacies get tarnished by the fact that they stuck around too long. And his losses are to good comp. Ngannou, Werdum, JDS. Those are all, those are all people that you can lose to and it's okay. Like there's no shame in losing to those people because they're great heavyweights. And this is heavyweight. One punch can end it all. Cain Velasquez is wrestling. Like that's what I'm saying too. Just being able to wrestle puts you in the fucking GOAT conversation in this division. Isn't that crazy? Because his don't get me wrong, he had phenomenal stand-up, but his main bread and butter was cardio maxing. He Marab just fucking copied whatever this dude did, Marab saw what Cain Velasquez did at heavyweight, and he emulated it at a fucking lighter weight class, just shooting takedowns, beating up his people on the ground, using cardio as his weapon. So cardio Cain, got to have him at number 6. At number 5 on my list, I got Daniel DC Cormier. And I think that DC has a pretty decent little record and resume at heavyweight. But I think I think we can agree that his resume at light heavyweight is a lot better, okay? He beat Frank Mir at heavyweight. He beat Roy Nelson at heavyweight. He beat Antonio Silva at heavyweight, Josh Barnett. And then he goes into light heavyweight, fights Dan Henderson, Patrick Cummings, John Jones, obviously loses to Jones. Beats Anthony Johnson, beats Gustafson. Then he loses to John Jones again by head kick, but he gets overturned because of the roids. Defends his belt at light heavyweight one more time. And then he's like, fuck it, I'm moving back up. And he knocks out Stipe Miocic. And he doesn't knock out, but he submits Derrick Lewis. And so you look at DC, his little run at heavyweight, he's got his early Strikeforce career where he beat Silva, Barnett, Frank Mir, Roy Nelson, and then he has his second heavyweight run once Cain Velasquez retired because, DC and Cain Velasquez were good friends and training partners, and DC left the division to let Cain run heavyweight. He beat Derrick Lewis, he beat Stipe. And you look at his losses at heavyweight, and he only lost to Stipe twice. And so I look at what DC did at heavyweight, and I think that is very impressive. He's a great wrestler, literally just picked up Stipe and threw him around like a fucking garbage bag, and then he knocked him out. Yeah, man. I gotta have, and this wasn't just a punk version of Stipe, this was prime Stipe, DC. One thing about DC people like to say, when we talk about, I compare him to Pereira sometimes. People like to talk about, oh, bro, DC has so many more fights. Yeah, he only has 11. He has 14 fights in the UFC. I'm pretty sure Pereira has 12. And Pereira has less losses, and he avenged all of his losses. But DC lost to higher levels of comp like Stipe and Jones. So I don't think there's I'm getting off subject here talking about light heavyweight rankings, and maybe I'll do that one next. But when you look at DC's legacy at heavyweight, and you on the real GOAT list, I'd have DC higher, or not higher than 5. But in terms of light heavyweight, I put DC in the top 3. At heavyweight, I put him in the top 5. I think y'all can understand where I'm coming from with this, all right? But let's talk about the next guy I got on this list. And look, the next 4 people on this list, if you have them as your GOAT of the heavyweight division, I have no problem with that. These next people, I'm not going to spoil who's next on the list because I want y'all to watch the video anticipating who's going to come next. But when we talk about prime Francis Ngannou, I think this was the scariest. You know what? I'm not even going to say that anymore because I feel like Tom Aspinall is a scarier person than Ngannou. But, I find it really hard to believe he's not on steroids. Just looking at fucking Ngannou's physique, it's insane. It's literally fucking crazy. This guy, Francis Ngannou, he was the fucking Grim Reaper of the U. He was Derrick Lewis had shit on him. I know Derrick Lewis beat him. But holy shit, what this guy was doing at heavyweight. The run that he went on before he fell off. Holy shit, man. Knocked out Curtis Blades badly. knocked out Andrei Arlovski badly, knocked out Overeem. The knockout over Overeem should be classified as second-degree murder, okay? That is probably the worst knockout of all, one of the worst knockouts of all time, what he did to Overeem. He lost to Stipe, and then he lost to Derrick Lewis. And the Derrick Lewis fight, it was a close fight, bro, but Ngannou just didn't do anything in that fight, so I definitely think Lewis won it. Then the Curtis Blade knocks out Curtis Blades again. Unnecessary follow-up shots, that fight. The follow-up shots that were landed in that fight. Yeah, man, that shit, it was hard to watch, bro. Then he knocked out Cain Velasquez, which is we talk about the Cain Velasquez and JDS wins for Ngannou. They're still decent little wins. They're not like wash versions of them, especially JDS was on a good win streak, and Cain, pretty sure he only lost one other time before that. Those are decent little wins to have, okay? I don't think they're prime versions, but I still think they're good versions, The Rosenstrike knockout literally just has no fucking respect for Rosenstrike whatsoever. Goes out there and just fucking throws with all caution to the wind and knocks, because he just knows Rosenstrike's not going to put him out. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to swing on you. And he swings on him, and he knocks out Rosenstrike brutally. Then he knocks out Stipe, puts the end to Stipe. And that, I keep thinking of all these Ngannou knockouts. Dude, it really just hurts my heart that the top 3 heavyweights in the world, John Jones, Francis Ngannou, and Tom Aspinall, will all never fight each other because of just bullshit. Does that not just piss you off? It should piss you off. But anyways, knocks out Stipe. And then the fight with Cyril Gane, I honestly, that night I scored it for Gane. Because I think in the 5th round, Gane was trying to do more. Ngannou had top position, but he didn't really do anything with it. But, he beat Gane, whatever. He used the grappling and defeated Cyril Gane. Then all the bullshit happens. We know the fucking story. Goes to fucking box Tyson Fury. Beats Tyson Fury. I think he beat Tyson Fury. Then he loses to Anthony Joshua. I know this is boxing, so it's not really noteworthy, but I'm going to talk about it regardless. Loses to Tyson Fury. Loses to Anthony Joshua. Then he comes back and meets Renan Ferreira. And now he's scamming the PFL. Motorcycle shit. I'm not going to get into that. But this guy, his backstory, he's gone through such a hard life. He's had such a hard life. What he's done with the PFL and, UFC Africa, PFL Africa, he's been doing that shit or whatever. I think we got to put Ngannou lower than who I got next on this list, though, which is Tom Aspinall. I got Tom Aspinall at number 3. And here's why I got Tom Aspinall at number 3. I think that Ngannou's competition is higher, but he has more losses. First and foremost, Tom Aspinall is undefeated in the UFC. I know Curtis Blades' knee injury, but we saw what happened when they actually fought. I think what Tom Aspinall, what he has done to the top of heavyweight, he has only gone to the second round twice. Okay, that's first and foremost, that's fucking crazy. He's only gone to the second round twice. But then we put that aside. This guy has knocked out, he has an average fight time of 2 minutes. 2 fucking minutes. Knocked out Jake Collier. And he has grappling too. He doesn't just have striking. He has grappling. This dude's submitting people like Arlovski and fucking Volkov. Knocks out Curtis Blades horribly. Knocks out Pavlovich. I watched that one live. It was crazy. And Pavlovich was on the fucking 5-fight knockout streak himself when he beat him. Beat Tybura. Beat Volkov. Beat Spivak. Beat Arlovski. Beat Boudet. Beat Collier. And he has a couple of, he has an illegal, pretty sure he threw 12-6 elbows on some guy, and then he got submitted, actually, in his 3rd fight. But he's definitely, that was 10 years ago, okay? I'm not going to hold the fucking submission from 10 years ago. So, he has 1 loss in the UFC, and it's not a real loss. Ngannou lost to Stipe, and he lost to Derrick Lewis. And Tom Aspinall, he has just like run through every single person they put in front of him with ease. Like face basically no adversity except for the fucking Arlovski Volkov fight where Volkov had a couple of moments of success. Like we watched Curtis Blaydes just land like a fucking 2 on Tom Aspinall and we're like, holy shit, bro. He landed a 2 on him. Like that's like he landed a strike on Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall would do terrible things to Ngannou on the ground and on the feet. I think he's the fastest heavyweight we've ever seen. He's super technical. And the other thing is he's actually cleared out his division as well. This is the last person to fight. Once he beats Gane, he will have beaten everybody in the top 5. I really hope his fucking teammate doesn't get into the fucking top 5 because then he's going to have to vacate. He says, I'm going to vacate the belt. Have you ever been thinking about it? I just think that what Tom Aspinall has done is more impressive than what Ngannou's done because he's done it all in the first fucking minutes of the fights. Yeah, man, I got Aspinall at number 3. At number 2, I got Miss Fedor. Fedor Emelianenko. I'm not going to copy Lucas Tracy, but this guy was undefeated in Pride. And yeah, he was the Grim Reaper of Pride is basically the point I'm trying to get at here. And he beat everybody easily as well. Let's talk about it, all right? And he had Pride was the UFC before UFC. So it's not like, bro, this guy was a Bellator champion. Like, look at Ngannou. He's the Bellator PFL champion. Like, no. Fucking Fedor, I know it was Pride and he was fighting like fucking nobodies, but he beat Kevin Randleman. He beat Nogueira. He beat Krokop. He beat Mark Coleman. He beat Mark Hunt. He beat Andrei Arlovski, who was in his prime Arlovski. He beat Tim Sylvia. He beat a lot of fucking people, man. Beat Frank Mir, Chael Sonnen, Rampage. I know that was like in 2019 or whatever. But he was undefeated in Pride. He was the Grim Reaper of fucking Pride. The greatest Pride fighter of all time. And he's super well fucking versatile. He has knockouts, subs, and decisions. Fought in multiple promotions, Strikeforce, Pride, Bellator, whatever. The point I'm trying to get at is I understand that Ngannou and Tom Aspinall would both beat Fedor in a fight if they fought, most likely. But what I'm trying to get at is when this guy was in his prime, like if Fedor was in the UFC right now, he'd still be a good fighter. Heavyweight is not that crazy of a division. If you took prime Fedor and put him in the heavyweight division in 2025, he would be a good fighter. And I think what he did in his fucking prime at Pride, just destroying everybody, I think that needs to be noted. So for those reasons, I got Fedor Emelianenko at number 2 on my list, all right? And at number 1 on my list, to absolutely nobody's surprise, I got Stipe, Mr. Stipe Miocic, who is 14-5 in the UFC. All of his losses, apart from John Jones, and I honestly, let's keep it a stack. The John Jones fight was complete bullshit. First and foremost, he got brutally knocked out by Ngannou. Okay? Takes fucking 3 years off, comes back and gets knocked out by John Jones. Are we really going to count that towards John Jones? Be like, yeah, John Jones, you beat this fucking washed version of Stipe. Let's go. Nah, man. I'm not going to say that. But Stipe Miocic, he beat everybody, man. He beat Arlovski. He beat Werdum. He beat Overeem. He beat JDS. He beat Ngannou. He beat DC twice. And everybody that he lost to in his prime, he avenged. Like the Ngannou loss, he beat Ngannou once. The DC loss, he beat DC twice. The JDS loss, he beat JDS. Except for Steven Struve, all right? Somehow lost to Steven Struve, but he got fucking poked in the eyeball, all right? Beat Roy Nelson, Philip DeFries. And he was doing it all with... He's super well-rounded. He had knockouts, he has submissions, he has decisions. Super long, rangy striker. He's just a classic. He just does all the right things, and he did all this by fucking being a firefighter at the same time. Beat Mark Hunt. The Overeem fight is crazy, and I honestly regret not putting Overeem on the list. Now, I definitely should have put him over Man, I honestly should have put Derrick Lewis at 10 and Overeem at 9. Because Overeem is so good. But fuck it, man. I think like we're not talking about Overeem. We're talking about Stipe. The Ngannou win just completely outclassed Ngannou. JDS, brutal. Dude, the Werdum knockout is brutal. Like, what was Werdum thinking chasing him like that? I don't even know. But yeah, he's beaten all the other best heavyweights, including Ngannou. And yeah, for the like he has the most title defenses as well. 4 title defenses, and he got the belt back, got another 2 title defenses in. For those reasons, I gotta put Stipe at number 1, man. Like he is him. He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. But I don't think that Tom Aspinall is that close off. If Tom Aspinall can defeat Cyril Gane, I think he'll definitely surpass Fedor. And I think there will be a discussion that needs to be had about it. I think we could all agree skill-wise, Tom Aspinall is probably the best we've ever seen. All right. But when we're doing a GOAT list, we can't just go off of skill. We have to go off of fucking everything. We have to go off of resume. We have to go off of like title defenses, who you've cleared out. So Tom Aspinall, his fucking resume is kind of weak right now. But if he gets that Pereira win and he gets the fucking win over Gane, we got to start talking. We got to start having some conversations. But that will do it for the video. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. If you want to help support the page monetarily, check out my Buy Me a Coffee. It's in the link below. And that will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.